We have a bakery that produces cookies, and on average, the proportion of cookies that are produced that are going to be flawed is given to us as P, and there are 20 cookies that is going to be in a box, and we're going to be letting the number of flawed cookies in a box to be C. Part A, we are supposed to state one assumption such that the number of flawed cookies in the box is going to be well-modeled by a binomial distribution. So for something to be well-modeled as a binomial distribution, we need 4 general conditions. The first one will be when there are n number of trials. Okay, I don't think we need to assume this because from what the question says, it is most likely going to be 20 number of trials because there are 20 cookies in a box. So no, not this. The second one will be when for each trial, there should be 2 mutually exclusive outcomes. Okay, and if you have to look at the question, there are really 2 pretty obvious mutually exclusive outcomes, which is for a cookie to be either flawed or non-flawed. So I also don't think I will use this as one of the assumptions. The third one, the third condition for an event to be modeled as a binomial distribution will be when the probability for each trial remains the same. And this is ambiguous based on the context that is provided to us. So I think this is a good assumption. So I will probably assume that the probability of a cookie being flawed is of a constant value, and that value should be P. Okay, so I can give this as one of the answers. There's another possible answer which is based on the fourth condition, which is for one trial and another trial, and all the rest of the trials, they must all be independent of each other. And again, this is ambiguous based on the context, so I think this can also be a possible approach that we are going to be stating our assumption, which is to state that for one cookie to be flawed, it is independent of all the other cookies that are going to be flawed. Okay, so these are the 2 possible assumptions. We just need to code one of them for part A. Part B, given that probability that C is equal to 0 or 1 is equal to 0.15, we want to write down an equation for the value of P, and then we want to solve for the value of P numerically. So according to what the question says, and assuming that all the conditions that we were talking about in part A are being satisfied, then C will be following a binomial distribution with the number of trials 20, and the probability of success will be P. And the question says that the probability when C is equal to 0 or when C is equal to 1, this is equal to 0.15. So it is when C is equal to 0 or when C is equal to 1, this is equal to 0.15. Making use of the formula for binomial distribution, for probability that C is equal to 0 is going to be out of 20, choose 0. Then P to the power of 0, 1 minus P to the power of 20 minus 0. As for probability that C is equal to 1, it will be 20, choose 1. Then P to the power of 1, 1 minus P to the power of 20 minus 1. This is equal to 0.15. 20 choose 0 is going to be 1, P to the power of 0 is also going to be 1. So here it's going to be 1 minus P to the power of 20. 20 choose 1 is going to be equal to 20. So this will be this, P, then 1 minus P to the power of 19 is equal to 0.15. And to solve this for the numerical value of P, we're going to draw this onto our graphing calculator. We will plug this into the Y1 of our calculator and this into the Y2 of our calculator, and making use of the graph, we are going to solve for the value of P. If you were to plug this into your calculator, you will get a graph that looks something like this. Okay, this will be Y is equal to 0.15, and this will be Y is equal to this. Let me just write down a shortcut, maybe just this. Probability that C is equal to 0 or C is equal to 1. And the intersection will be giving us the value of P. From my calculator, this is 0.15892. So based on this, we can therefore solve for P. P is going to be equal to 0.159 to 3 significant figures. And this is for part B. Let's move on. Let's take a look at part C. And in part C, we are going to be taking P to be equal to 0.08. So if I can just write down the distribution for C again, it will be 20. Here will be 0.08. We have now 10 boxes of cookies. Okay, please take note, this is the number of flawed cookies that is in one box of 20 cookies. So now we have 10 of such boxes. As part of the bakery's quality control process, a box of cookies will be accepted if it contains fewer than 4 flawed cookies. Otherwise, it is going to be rejected. So we are supposed to find the probability that there are at least 2 but not more than 5 rejected boxes. Okay, so we are looking at the number of rejected boxes out of the 10 boxes. Let us first try to find the probability that a box will be rejected. Let me write it down here. So the probability, this is for part C, the probability that a box is rejected. Okay, for one box to be rejected, if it is less than 4 flawed cookies, it is going to be accepted. So for rejection, it will be 1 minus probability that C is less than 4. Okay, this is going to be the probability for rejection. And this will be 1 minus probability that C is less than or equal to 3. Pressing this into our calculator, this is equal to 0.070615. This is the probability that a box is going to be rejected, and we are going to be looking at 10 boxes. So we are actually seeing another binomial distribution here, where the number of trials is 10, and the probability of success is for a box to be rejected, which is going to be this probability. Let me define another new random variable for the rejected boxes. So if I were to let's say R be the number of rejected boxes of cookies out of the 10 boxes. Then R here, as we have mentioned, should follow another binomial distribution. The number of trials is 10 and the probability of success is for a box to be rejected. Okay, this is the probability. And the question requires us to find the probability, the required probability. Okay, will be the probability when there are at least 2 but no more than 5 rejected boxes. So R must be at least 2 but no more than 5 rejected boxes. And in order for us to calculate the probability of this using what we have on our graphing calculator, we're going to rewrite this as probability that R is less than or equal to 5 minus probability that R is less than or equal to 1. Then we will have 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, less than or equal to 5 minus less than or equal to 1. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, which is what the question wants. And pressing this into our calculator, our answer here is going to be equal to 0.154 to 3 significant figures. Let's look at the last part of this question. Okay, so for the last part of this question, we have a random sample of 15 boxes of cookies this time, and 3 of the boxes were found to be rejected. And based on this, we want to find the probability that the third rejected box occurs on the 15th box. Okay, we are looking at a conditional probability over here. Let me write down the conditional probability. I will be writing some stuff here before I can do my calculation. So let me write down the conditional probability here. So the required probability that we are calculating for, okay, based on what we can read from the question, will be the probability where the third rejected box occurs on the 15th box. So third rejected box on 15th box. And the condition will be the first statement that is given to us, which is there will be 3 boxes that are found to be rejected out of the 15 boxes. So 3 boxes rejected out of 15 boxes. Okay, this is the conditional probability that is stated to us that we are supposed to calculate. And if we were to apply the conditional probability formula, it is going to be the probability that the third rejected box is going to be happening on the 15th box, and in total 3 boxes are going to be rejected out of the 15 boxes, divided by the probability that 3 boxes are going to be rejected out of the 15 boxes. Okay, now let's try to calculate the probability of this. Let's think about it. Let's think about how the scenario is going to work. So for the numerator over here, we are looking at the third rejection to be happening on the 15th time, which means that if I were to just think about it, there are, let's say, 14 boxes here, and this will be the 15th box. And this is going to be a box of rejection. Okay, I'm going to use B to represent the box of rejection. Okay, so it is going to be B3, which means that in the first 14, there should be a B1 and a B2. Then this must be B3. Okay, this is going to be the scenario. So to calculate this scenario, that is the numerator. Okay, this will ensure that the third rejection happened on the 15th, and in total, there are going to be 3 rejected boxes out of the 15 boxes. So to calculate for this, I am going to take this as one that follows a binomial distribution. This is definitely going to be this, okay, where a box is going to be rejected. So the probability here will be 0.070615. Here, I'm going to let, let's say x be the number of rejected boxes out of 14 boxes. So x here will follow a binomial distribution of 14, and the probability that I'm going to use is 0.070615. So for the numerator that we are having here, it is going to be probability that x is equal to 2. That is meant for this, the first 14 boxes, where 2 rejections are going to be taking place. And the final box, which is the 15th box, it is going to be a rejection. That will make it the third rejection. Okay, so multiply by 0.070615. This is going to be for the numerator. As for the denominator, we are talking about 15 boxes. So let me define another random variable that is pretty similar to this. I'm going to let y be the number of rejected boxes out of 15 boxes. And now y will follow a binomial distribution of 15. And the probability of success will be 0.070615. So for the denominator here, it is probability that y is equal to 3. I'm going to press this into the calculator, and based on the calculator, my answer here is 0.2.